Begin.
Good morning, dear students and colleagues. So let's begin our next English lesson. I am Sh.Axmadjonova from the Department of Languages, Andijon branch of Tashkent State Agrarian University. So as usual, let's begin our lesson from motivations. The 1,000 miles journey begins with a single step. It means if you have made your decision, if you have a lot of plans, you should put your first step. In this case, you should be in this situation, you should be a risk taker. So, as a result, you will achieve your success and goals in your future life, in your career. So every time we will obey such kind of motivations because they are very helpful for our career, for our life, and for our future. So let's start our today's lesson. Today we are going to speak about tourism. And for today's lesson, I chose the cluster of tourism, and I drew myself iceberg here. Iceberg, and this iceberg here, as you can see, visible. It has two sides: visible sides and invisible sides under the water. So visible sides, we have several keywords here. And invisible sides, also we have some keywords here. So iceberg looks like, if you compare with tourism, it looks like such. If you stand on the iceberg, you can see as a tourism, you can see lifestyle of people, different nationality, and so here was written clothes, fresh air, healthy lifestyle, different meals, and sightseeing here. What I want to say by this cluster? I want to say that if you travel around the world as a tourist, you can see different lifestyle, different meals. You can see different countries, ancient cities, or historical buildings, or different languages also. Transportation, you can see, they are visible, and you will use them and you will enjoy yourself during your vacation or during your traveling. But tourism has invisible sides also. Maybe you can see these sides, or mostly you will feel these things while traveling around the world. You can come across different religions, different dialects, different traditions and customs. So this is also very helpful for tourism. In this case, we can make our decision that tourism helps not only enjoying, but also developing physically and mentally. So let's work with vocabulary. It's time to work with vocabulary and new words. So now I'm going to begin my vocabulary from the word tourism. So from the word tourism, you can count several new words. The first one is tour. Tour means a journey which you can visit several places and several ancient cities. So the first one is tour. So here was written as usual on the card, a journey in which you can visit several places for pleasure. And the next one, tourism. What is tourism? Tourism, this is a business of providing several services for people who are traveling for their holidays. So tourism is a business. And the next one is tour guide. This is a person whose job is to show tourists around a place and explain its history. This is a special profession, tour guide. And the next one is tourist. This is a noun and a person, someone who is visiting a place on holiday. Mostly tourists especially go some countries on holiday. And the next new word is tourist attraction. This is like a place to visit that is very popular with tourists, especially crowded with tourists. And the next one, new word, tourist visa. A visa that allows you to visit a country for a short time on holiday. This is a special visa for tourists. And the next one, tourist board, an official organization in a country or area that encourages tourists to visit that country or area. And tourist class. This is very, how to say, tourist class, especially this is the cheapest seat on a plane or train. Tourist class. And touristy. Touristy, designed for tourists or full of tourists. So these are new words which is connected with tourism. So here I showed you the method how to work with new words. If you have one new word, tourism, you should collect a lot of new words which is connected with this word. So we have just did this one. And besides this, as my cluster of iceberg, you can see a lot of new words here. For example, landscapes. This is beautiful nature. Sightseeing. These are some ancient and historical cities and places, monuments, and etc. And nationalities, different nationalities, languages, lifestyle, transportation, clothes, fresh air, healthy lifestyle, meals, and etc. So, invisible sides of iceberg consist of religious, which is connected with religious. And the next one is customs, traditions, dialects, and etc. So these are also new words for us. And so let's speak about tourism. What is tourism itself? So tourism, as we mentioned here in our new word, this is business. This is cooperating between countries and nationalities. Especially developed countries try to develop this tourism in order to develop their nationality, their country, socially, and how to say, and financially. So tourism is a business. So this is key word. Topic sentence. And while developing or while doing business with tourism, all countries reconstruct their ancient cities, reconstruct these historical buildings. This is also very good for this nationality. And the next one is tourism is developing physically and mentally. While tourism, maybe some companies earn much money and etc., but even, tourists will develop their mental abilities also, mental knowledge also, because they will come across a lot of religious traditions, a lot of ancient buildings, and they will research some information about historical buildings, about some news, and this is also very good contribution to their knowledge. And the next one, topic sentence, tourism, this is financial and social relationship between countries and nationalities. So, of course, tourism depends on money, financial side. Of course, where is tourism is developed, there is progress. There is, there you can see cosmopolitan atmosphere. You can see a great amount of money, crowded people, and beautiful landscape, ancient buildings and cities. So this is also very helpful and very useful for this nationality and this country. And let's speak about Uzbekistan. Nowadays, because of our president Sh.Axmadjonova, tourism is developing in Uzbekistan. Day by day, you can see this developing. So, especially in historical cities, for example, Samarkand, Bukhara, Khorazm, and etc. And at the same time, people and their mental ability also developing day by day. You can see host families in Samarkand and Bukhara, and these host families decorated their house with religious, historical, ancient instruments in order to show for tourists their culture, in order to show their customs, religions and traditions. This is also very, very attractive and very beautiful for our nationality as well as for tourists also. And we know that the Great Silk Road is developing day by day in Uzbekistan, and this is also very famous all over the world. And by this road, not only tourism but also cooperating or financial and social relationship also developing day by day. So, in shortly, as a conclusion, we can say that we cannot imagine our life without tourism. Tourism is very helpful, not only for historical buildings and sightseeing, but also these nationalities, people, their religious cultures and traditions. Let's start the most interesting part of our lesson, conclusion. So what I want to say at the end of my lesson: if you travel around the world, you shouldn't travel just only sightseeing and cities, ancient places, but also you should travel the people, nationality, their, lifestyle and languages and etc. Because while traveling the nationality or politics, you will explore something useful for yourself. For example, if you travel to Norwich, you need a map, special map, in order to find special places of this Norwich. And sometimes you can get such kind of map on your telephone, but not always you can use your telephone. So that's why I recommend you to use such kind of maps. And the second one is special SIM cards of this region, of this area. You will buy such kind of SIM cards and you can use in this area these SIM cards. And the next one, politics also very important. If you want to explore something useful, interesting for yourself, you should be familiar with the mass media. For example, newspapers. You can read daily newspapers of this area, and you will find their feelings, emotions, lifestyle, all this nationality. For example, Norwich newspapers are daily records, for example, Concrete, for example, and Eastern Daily Press. As you see, there are local newspapers and public newspapers also. So these are local newspapers. And Sunday Post, also local newspaper. So these are very helpful for you to explore the religious traditions, feelings, emotions of this nationality. So at the end, I want to say today's lesson was about tourism, and your home task will be to learn by heart new words, which I described in my cluster, and which is connected with tourism, a lot of new words. And the second homework, answer for one question: how do you imagine tourism in Uzbekistan after 5 years? So the lesson is over. Have a good rest. Thank you. Goodbye.